So that's my collection of sleeping bags that I wanted to show you today. Let's try again. Okay. Hello and welcome to Discovering in Color. The channel is designed to show you just how much fun it is to have a good time in the outdoors. Today we're talking about sleeping bags, one of my favorite subjects of all time. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the different bags that I have, as well as just some basic things about the bags. So first thing we're going to start off with is, what are bags made of? Well, the bags are going to be made of either a synthetic material or they're going to be made of a natural material. Synthetic materials are going to be something that's man-made, that's going to provide dead air space. Basically, it's going to fluff up, and inside of that dead air space is where air will be trapped, and that's going to provide you your insulation. The natural fibers, which are going to be some type of a down, either a duck down or a goose down, I would definitely recommend a goose down, is going to be what provides you that insulation. And that goose down comes in different numbers, anywhere from 600 or 500 all the way up to 800 or 1,000 fill down. The higher the number of the down fill, the warmer it's going to be, and usually the thinner the bag will be as far as that goes. And also, the bigger the number, the more expensive the bags become. So I'm going to start off right here with this bag here. This is a synthetic bag. This is a Sierra Designs mobile mummy bag. It's a very unique bag in the fact that, as you can see, it has a hood on the top, and on the side here it has these little vents which are used for placing your hands through once you're inside of the bag. It's got a front zipper, and then when you put this on, you can actually take your hands and put them out the side if you get too hot, or if you need to grab something. It also has a very generous foot box here. It also has the ability, since it has a two-way zipper, in other words, you can zip from the bottom or you can zip from the top. And the unique thing about zipping from the bottom is you can zip this up right here. You can stick your feet out. It does have some hooks here on the back. And if you got to take care of business in the middle of the night, you basically unzip it, stick your feet out. You keep the bag on top. You can walk out of the tent, take care of whatever you got to take care of, put everything back on, and you stay a lot warmer. So this is our synthetic Sierra Designs mobile mummy bag. It's good down to about 48 degrees Fahrenheit, and definitely one of my good go-to bags. I want to have a quick word here about bag ratings. Now, I'm not quite sure who they use to rate these bags with, but I'm a person who gets a little bit cold when I sleep. So a bag like this, which is rated down, and this one actually does say it on the bottom here. It says right here, mobile money, poly fiber, and it says right here, 46 degrees Fahrenheit or 8 Celsius is the comfort limit. And when we say comfort limit, that's where you're going to be comfortable. And then it has a lower limit, okay, of 37 degrees or 3 degrees Celsius, and that's the limit that's going to keep you alive. I like to take off about 5 or 10 degrees for the numbers that they print on here because I'm just a cold sleeper. So that's how I rate, my personal way that I rate these bags here. Now let's talk about my next bag, which is going to be a down bag. This bag is also by Sierra Designs. This one is a little more unique. It's actually a mummy bag, and mummy bags are designed to fit much closer to you. This one actually has a quilt in the center that you can pull out. So what you can do is you can end up sleeping in here. You can put your head up here in the top, and you can pull this in or out depending on how hot or how cold you are. It also has some nice little hand mitts here. If you do get cold, you can put your hands out. But this is a down bag. It's got on the foot box, it actually has an opening on the foot box so you can pull your feet out if you get too hot. This one here is rated down to 38 degrees Fahrenheit or 3 degrees Celsius, and it has a limit. In other words, it'll keep you alive down to 29 degrees Fahrenheit or -2 Celsius. And this is an 800 fill backcountry bed by Sierra Designs. Now this big boy right here, this is a Kelty, and this thing will take you down to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty daggone cold, which is about minus, let's see if it says it on here. It'll take you down pretty cold. It's a nice downfill. It's a dry downfill. So what that means is that it's a hydrophobic down. So if you get moisture on it, it'll basically repel that moisture and help keep the heat in. But as you can see, this thing here from the foot box, this thing is just a big, thick, fat bag, and it will definitely keep you warm. Has a side zipper on the side, got a draft tube on the top, and of course it has a hood, and it's got a drawstring here so you can actually pull it and make the hood smaller to keep you warm. The only disadvantage of this bag is that if you do have to wake up in the middle of the night and take care of business, you've got to get out of this thing. And if you're down where it's extremely cold outside, well, guess what? You're going to get cold. That's what happens with that. I'll show you a technique in a few minutes here, how not to get cold when you're in a bag like this and you're out in very cold weather. This bag here is another Mobile Mummy by Sierra Designs. The difference between this one and the one I showed you earlier is this one is actually made of down. It's not synthetic. It's rated down to 27 degrees Fahrenheit or -3 Celsius with a limit of 16 Fahrenheit, -9 degrees Celsius. It's got exactly the same features of the other one I showed you. It's got the arm pitch you can take out here. And this is just one you're going to take if it's going to be a little bit colder outside. This is the one you want to take to help you out. Now this one here is an Ozark Trails tent that I picked up at Walmart a number of years ago. It's a down bag. I said, once again, made by Ozark Trails. And this one was very surprising. I just happened to be walking in a camping section and I saw it and picked it up. If you're going to be outside and you're going to camp and it's not going to be too cold, this thing is rated at 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know if it'll take you down that cold. It is filled with a duck down filler. So I have taken this down to about 40 degrees and it kept me warm. The advantage of this, if you're going to take it backpacking, is this is incredibly light and this thing packs down just incredibly small. So this thing here is a good go-to if you're looking to do ultralight or something like that. It's not going to be too cold outside. This bag right here is definitely a good go-to and I've used it a number of times. All right, the last bag I want to show you here is this Coleman bag. It's a Coleman Exponent bag. I picked this up probably about 10 years ago, and it's a synthetic bag. This one is different than the others. In fact, this one is a rectangular bag. So as you can see, the bottom is just a big rectangle. That's all it is. This is more of a fun bag. If I've taken it camping before, but I don't take it anymore. It's a good bag if you're going to camp. You're doing a day camp or something like that. You're not doing that much and you want to stay warm, or if you're going to do a nighttime camp, I've used it for cabin camping, those type of things. It'll keep you warm. It says it's good rated down to 40 degrees. It's a little bit older now, so I don't know if it's actually going to do that. So that's why I don't take it out camping. Got a nice little drawstring up here, but as you can see, this thing is just a big rectangle. It gives you a lot of room in here. If you're a person who likes to move around a lot at night, a rectangular bag will work for you. But just not a bag I take camping anymore. But not a bad quality bag. Another item that's become extremely popular on the trail lately are quilts. Okay, these are different than a traditional sleeping bag in the fact that they have no zipper. They're basically just big blankets, and you can use it as a blanket if you want to, or you can actually turn this into something that you can sleep in. To do that on this one here, you go to the end here and you can actually close this down and make a foot box by pulling on these elastic straps right here. And then once you have yourself a foot box, obviously that's where your feet are going to go. You just pull it down like so. And now what you've done is you've made a foot box right here for your feet to go in. And this will actually go over you. I'll give you a demonstration here. You put your feet in the foot box, and then this quilt goes over top of you just like this. And it's a way to have a sleeping bag without a little bit of the extra weight of a zipper and those type of things. Because believe it or not, all of those things add extra weight. And when you start adding in a gram of this or a pound of this or an ounce of that, these things do add up over time. But a quilt is another great way to stay warm when you're out backpacking. Plus, like I said, the advantage is the weight. This one is made of down. It's a dry down. And this is made by Cammack. Okay, now I want to tell you about a technique that I use a lot if it's going to be extremely cold outside. I use this a lot more for car camping or just a weekend camp out where I'm not backpacking but just camping somewhere. What I do is if it's going to be very, very cold outside, I will put a bag inside of a bag. And this is something I've done. We went up to Kansas and camped out. This is that mobile money bag that is down to about 45 degrees or so Fahrenheit. I will put that inside of this 0 degree bag and you will stay as warm as you could possibly ever want to stay. The greatest advantage of having this bag inside of this 0 degree bag is that if you got to get up in the middle of the night and take care of some business, you can unzip this huge orange 0 degree bag, use the mobile mummy, unzip it to take care of business. You can actually get out of this bag and you're not going to be out that long to take care of what you got to take care of, but you are still inside of a sleeping bag. So therefore, it helps you retain a lot of that heat that you would lose if you didn't have a sleeping bag and you just had to get out in long johns or something like that. Now, I also do wear long johns when I sleep in a bag in the wintertime. I use a merino wool. It's just another layer to have on you. And if you do end up sweating, which you need to be careful, because I've had that before, but I've actually had this bag on, had it zipped all the way up and woke up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat. Not the best place to be, but at least if you're wearing that merino wool liner, the wool retains heat even when it's wet. So it will help you out. So that's a technique that I use to stay warm when it's really, really cold outside. A bag inside of another bag. All right, so that's my collection of sleeping bags that I wanted to show you today. Hopefully you can take those techniques and those things that I've taught you today and the things that I've shown you today and use those in your own experience. And so with that, I want to say if you like this video, please subscribe to it, hit the little like button. None of these things I've been reimbursed for. This is not a promotional for any of these products. It's just a review of what I have and what I've used. So with that, thank you very much for showing up and see you on the trail.